future engineers. It's been a while since we've talked about the design process. I know I talked to your parents about it at open house and that you got videos in the beginning of the year, but I think it's a good time to refresh and review it. As engineers, we're always asked to solve a problem. We start to imagine different ways we can solve it, and we select the best plan. We create a model to solve that problem. Then we work on improving it. This is where our growth mindset comes in. We, as engineers, spend the most time in improving our ideas. Finally, we present it by showing photos or videos in Seesaw. Next, I want to talk to you about two important vocabulary words. The first one is criteria, and the second one is constraints. The criteria is the job that needs to be done. In all of our lessons, you will be building something. Constraints are the limitations or boundaries of the design. It means something that's stopping you from getting your work done. It could be materials, cost, time, knowledge, or even your growth mindset. Constraints are things that get in your way. They stop you from getting the job done. As an engineer, you never want a constraint to stop you. You might be limited to your materials or the cost of something or how much time you have or your knowledge. And the worst thing is it could be limited your growth mindset. Never let a constraint stop you. Instead, think like an engineer. I don't have the exact materials, Mrs. Marshall says, to use, but what can I use in my home that's similar that gets the job done? Or am I stuck on a fixed mindset where I don't want to move forward? Or am I looking for an opportunity to learn something new? If you're doing that, your constraints can't stop you. However, every once in a while, there might be a lesson that I worry you might have too many constraints, especially with materials. In that case, those lessons will have an extra online activity that you can do instead of the build. I only provide those if I think you might have too many constraints. It's your job as an engineer to work around these constraints. So when you don't have the exact materials I have, you have to think, how can I get the job done with this limitation? What could I change or do differently? What materials could I swap out with materials that I have access to at home? So the big idea in every lesson is don't let those constraints stop you from getting your job done. So your criteria in every lesson isn't a perfect build. It's having a great growth mindset.